How do you get rid of the creepy feeling of emptiness that accompanies you everywhere? The soul suffers from such thoughts, but there is simply no desire to live. When life acquires the status of everything is difficult, and the day consists of nothing but failures and moral stresses, it's time to get behind the wheel of your ship. The search for the causes will help to direct them to a new direction, because they contain the root of evil. Help is just around the corner. Everything is very bad or why it happens. When the morning begins not with a cheerful charge and a smile, but with sadness, complete despair, obviously, you need to think about yourself. Where does that deep sadness come from, which is difficult to get out of for weeks? Why does a mental breakdown occur, and you are no longer that cheerful person, but a grey shadow? Negative emotions are waiting for us at the most inopportune moment, when we do not expect it. Yesterday, there was an affair with a loved one, prosperity, peace, and today everything is wrong. Negativity can fly into life, but it is important not to let it stay here. When everything is bad, the soul hurts, and with it the energy to do something disappears. It is important to figure out what exactly is the cause of sadness. This condition has obvious as well as hidden features. When a person says help me badly, he may experience problems in the family. This is the most common case. Within the framework of misunderstanding on the part of loved ones, eternal quarrels, self-isolation is born. Negative feelings arise from a lack of love, mutual understanding, and support. Everything happens very badly at work. Colleagues don't understand, and yet this boss is always criticizing. Do you have to drive for hours to another part of the city, and then stay in the office until nightfall? Strenuous employment can turn an energetic personality into a stale cracker. A disloyal team is a common cause of nervous breakdowns. I feel ill for health reasons. When you feel weak, you want to cry and return to normal. It is difficult to imagine a familiar life with light thoughts without good health. It is important not to delay. Consult a doctor and put yourself in reverse shape. I feel so bad because I was abandoned by a loved one. Crying all night long, a sad look out the window, apathy towards the outside world, all this causes depression. Difficulties in relationships make few people happy. A person can also say I feel bad if he has not been able to get out of a bitter state for a long time. Negativity tends to turn into chronic depression, which makes it difficult to find peace of mind. One reason can affect another, which creates a chain of unpleasant consequences. For example, a university student has problems communicating with classmates. He always comes home in a bad mood, ignores his family on nervous grounds, and is rude to them. This provokes parents to a scandal and a verbal altercation begins. At the same time, the child of the family ceases to study well, which threatens him with departure from the budget for the contract. The family cannot afford to pay for education, and the son, under a wave of depression, begins to take alcohol and smoke. This is a rather banal example, but it takes place in real life. There are thousands of others like this case, but the conclusion is the same. People drive themselves into a blind corner. It is worth dealing with one problem, which will eliminate the appearance of the following. The way out of a depressive state often lies before our eyes. What to do when you feel bad? I feel bad and it eats me up morally from day to day. Help me. It is important to immediately pull yourself together and do something in the form of a moral shake-up. The feeling of one's own helplessness gradually makes the personality uncontrollable. Stress increasingly affects behavior, much ceases to please as before, and strong feelings cease to help morally. In neglected cases, scolding yourself for being too exposed to circumstances is the best lesson you can learn. Advice. A word from the outside sometimes cannot break through the wall of misunderstanding that a person has created himself. Does everything feel so bad that you want to make ends meet? We take the will into our fist, call the most important people we can trust, and express everything that has accumulated during this time. A friend, a native, will always understand and help in a difficult moment. Perhaps all this time the victim lacks sincere understanding, freeing himself from all this confusion. If the feeling of I feel bad has taken hold of you, then listen to our advice and they will certainly help you. Firstly, avoid loneliness. When everything is very bad, you don't need to finish yourself off with silence even more. In such an environment, a person escalates the situation, becomes vulnerable. How to get rid of mental pain? It is important not to justify your behavior and blame others for your troubles. Under any circumstances, you can get distracted. Why not read the book? Watch an interesting movie or go shopping. How is the idea of listening to your favorite music that will get rid of the inner barrier? Karaoke, by the way, helps very well. Secondly, surround yourself with care. This advice complements the previous one. You can get a positive charge from your bosom friends, who will be able to drive up at any minute and call you to the cafe. There will always be someone who is with you. Like never spill water, I feel very bad, but no one will cheer me up. What to do? It is important to diffuse the situation and go out into the outside world. Why not meet an interesting person, go on a long-awaited date, put aside your fears, and offer someone a meeting? You can cheer yourself up if you stop thinking about the painful things. Thirdly, overcome fear and fix the situation. What to do when everything is bad? To avoid this, you need to fix the fatal mistake that is the cause of everything. The problem has been dragging on for many months or maybe years. Such a stone on the soul simply suffocates the opportunity to live fully. If your conscience is tormenting, then you do not need to be afraid to apologize, to tell the truth. I want to tell you about my feelings. The main thing is not in a rough form, but it is clear so that it is clear to the person. Fear is gnawing, speechless. You don't have to put up with it. You can always make amends, which will not only calm you down, but also the opponent. Fourth, make time for sports. Sport is a radiant vitamin from which the body flutters, the soul is relieved, the mood is renewed. Is it not happiness to breathe freely in a beautiful, strong body? Regular classes cultivate willpower. It is often not enough to combat moral depression. After a few months of fitness, gym, someone who used to be exhausted for any reason, today will confidently stay afloat. Fifth, have fun and relax. When you feel bad, you should allow yourself to relax. A holiday is impossible in a gloomy, heated atmosphere. Terrible sadness will melt if you go on a long-awaited trip. Treat yourself with a gift. Invite your family to a restaurant. Go out of town to nature. Why not visit the spa for a relaxing massage? Or maybe go to a football match and cheer for your favorite team. It is worth replacing the usual habitat with something bright, as we will play with new colors.